Breaker 19, Breaker 19. Grab a cup of joe, boys, cause we're rolling back to 1978. The year diesel was cheap, CVs were king, and a little movie called Convoy turned the trucking world into a Hollywood blockbuster. You think you know the duck story. Well, I got 10 facts that'll make even an old hand go, well, I'll be damned. First off, Convoy wasn't dreamed up in some studio boardroom. It came straight off AM radio. C.W. McCall's song Convoy hit #1 in January '76, telling tales of truckers sticking it to the 55-mile-per-hour limit and blowing past Smokies. But here's a twist. C.W. McCall wasn't even a real guy. He was a character made up by ad man Bill Fries to sell bread and ended up selling the dream of the open road. Now, every trucker in that movie was hauling attitude, but Rubber Duck's Mack RS-712LST, she was the star. 10 wheels, 283 Mack horses under the hood. 4 of them used in the movie. 1 took a swan dive off a bridge, 1 croaked mid-scene, and 1 was left to rot till some kind soul brought her back to life in 2007. She's sitting pretty now in the St. Louis Transport Museum. Oh, and that hood ornament? Hand-built by John Billings, later hitching a ride in Tarantino's Death Proof. The man steering this circus was Sam Peckinpah, famous for the Wild Bunch, infamous for whiskey, coke, and a temper that could peel paint. By the late 70s, his health and habits made him unpredictable. Some days, James Colbert, yep, the Hollywood legend, quietly directed scenes just to keep the show rolling. Believe it or not, Chris Christopherson wasn't first in line. They offered Rubber Duck to Steve McQueen. He passed. Then Burt Reynolds. He passed and went to make Smokey and the Bandit. Even Olympic champ Bruce Jenner's name floated around. But it was Chris who finally grabbed the mic and made the role his own. The budget started at $6 million. By the end, $12 million. Between breakdowns, busted sets, and Peckinpah's chaotic approach, the cash burned faster than a set of recapped tires in July. Still, $45 million in ticket sales, biggest payday Peckinpah ever had. One of the bridge shootout scenes nearly didn't happen, not because of stunts, but because the Mack gave up the ghost before the cameras rolled. The crew didn't blink. They brought in a bulldozer and pushed that dead duck into place. On screen, you'd never know she wasn't running. That diner brawl where Spider Mike clocks Dirty Lyle took 10 whole days to film. 10 days of coffee mugs flying, fists swinging, and pure, unscripted chaos. No CGI, just old-school knuckle-busting movie magic. What you saw in theaters ran an hour 50. Peckinpah's original cut, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Studio execs took the scissors to it, and Peckinpah disowned the release. Irony is, that butchered version made him more money than any of his so-called masterpieces. Here's one for the trivia buffs. Convoy premiered in Japan on June 10, 1978, weeks before the US release. And the Japanese audience? They loved every mile of it. It wasn't just a movie, it was a movement. CB sales shot up, the song was recut for the film, and Rubber Duck became trucker folklore. Even now, fire up your CB, call out Breaker 19, and chances are someone will come back with a grin remembering that rollin' rebellion. So the next time you're hauling through the night and see a Mack with a little swagger, tip your hat to the duck. He wasn't just pushing freight, he was pushing freedom. And brothers, that convoy's still rolling. Breaker 19, over and out.